Hey y'all, hey, it's another episode of Bonafide Her Podcast featuring the one and only Miss Celeste Wilder.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. It's interesting. I was like, I had so many people that was from like AthleteCon. I was like, I have to hopefully somebody reaches out about like, they want to be on the guest on the podcast. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is great. But I always want to share the platform for all the athletes, especially the AthleteCon athletes, especially because for those that don't know, AthleteCon is a game changer, life changing. So,
Yeah, definitely.
and yes, and also big shout out to the Good Garden Juice. This is from Winston-Salem. Health is wealth, y'all. Be sure to, if you're in the Winston-Salem, Greensboro area, be sure to check out the Good Garden. It's amazing juice. So health is wealth, y'all. So, but let's get it started. So, Miss Celeste, can you tell us your sports story to how you got to where you are?
Yeah. So obviously I'm young. I'm in high school, so I haven't really, got that really got that far. But basically I played basketball like randomly in fourth grade on a random rec team just for fun. Didn't like it, don't remember any of it to be honest. And fast forward, I was homeschooled all the way up until seventh grade. So I'm going to this school, right? So it's a really small Christian school, and all the girls play all the sports. Like you basically have your athletes and they play everything type of school. So I played volleyball, right? So towards the end of volleyball season, we're riding back from this is like a very pivotal moment. It's really, really random. Haven't really told anybody this other than like my parents maybe, but riding back from a volleyball game. And I'm sitting next to this girl and she's like my friend, and she was like, "Are you gonna play basketball?" And I was like, "I don't really know, like I don't really want to." And then she's like, "Oh, you have to. Everybody plays everything. It's like really, really fun." Well, she didn't say that, but she was like, "We all play. It's like really, really fun." And I had watched basketball, so I grew up on the Wizards, like John Wall, Bradley Beal, Mark Mortat, like that three. Like I grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Me and my dad watched it all the time. Like it was a big like. I don't want to say they impacted my life, but to an extent, like they inspired me to want to play basketball. So I was like, maybe I should try it. Like I really like playing it or whatever. So basketball season rolls around and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. So I had about 2 weeks, 3 weeks to teach myself how to basically do a right-handed layup. Like I'm the most unnatural person ever when it comes to basketball. Like it's actually like funny how unnatural I am at it. So I basically my dad had to teach me how to do a right-handed layup, and it wasn't the funnest moment of my life, but we finally figured it out. And then after that, I was just like on my own, boom, everything. I just had to learn everything, and I was terrible. I sucked in seventh grade. It was bad. It was actually really embarrassing. If you look at my old clips in seventh grade and kind of eighth grade, I got the hang of it by ninth grade. Obviously, it was bad. It was very, very bad. But I had passion for it, and when you have passion for something, passion can bring you a long, long way. Not just in the basketball world, but in the sports world. Like if I didn't have that one conversation with that one girl on the ride home, she probably doesn't even remember. She probably doesn't even remember. But if I didn't have that one conversation, I would not have pursued probably wanting to work in sports and all of that stuff. So obviously, God works things together for good and like intertwines things to happen and stuff like that. So I'm very grateful for that like little conversation that happened. Another thing, this is really random, but I did not know what defense was in basketball, which is dumb because obviously defense is played. So we're at tryouts, right? Seventh grade. Um, I was like jumping up and down, my hands, like it was really bad, it was embarrassing. And one of them girl, a senior, she was like, "Celeste, what are you doing?" But like in a nice way, because I was seventh grade. So she'd like teach me how to do it, and I eventually got it because now I like take pride in defense. If you know anything about me, like yeah, that's my thing. But so yeah, really unnatural person when it comes to basketball, but that's basically my story in a nutshell when it comes to why I started playing. So yeah.
I would even, it's interesting because from like the content you make, you mentioned how I saw one of them says, you got your game from your uncle's genetics. I was like, interesting. I was like, oh, and it's interesting how you mentioned like the Wizards back in the day when they had John Wall, Bradley Beal. I was like, dang, she pulled that out the bag. Like that's deep in the bag right there. So, um, so my question for you is, you know, you're into this, say this in the sports world, especially for high schoolers going into college, the senior years, you
Mhm.
know, they getting their feet wet with the NIL and content creation. What do you see, what do you see with your content and how you are building your brand with NIL, but also off the court?
Yeah, so a lot of, I think, old school people tend to think, if you don't know anything about basketball or anything about NIL, old school people tend to think that you will only be successful in the, hang on, give me a second. You will only be successful in the content world and in the influencer creator world if you are successful at your sport, and that's not necessarily the case, because I'm not a 5-star athlete, right? And I haven't made it by content, like, at all, like, and by no means I've made it, but I've seen a lot of growth in the past month that I have seen in the past 2 years, basically. That probably does not answer your question at all, but I don't think that was your question, but yeah, so my thing is, you don't have to be the best at your sport. So I've made a couple like videos here and there. Like, if I do something stupid and dumb, like, my brain is so like content wired that, like, for example, there was one time where I was lining up for a free throw. I was like in 10th grade and I like tripped and fell or whatever, and that ended up kind of going semi viral. And also a moment where I was trying to like hustle and like I was falling all over the place. It was really, really bad. It's embarrassing. But you put it on the internet, boom. So you have to kind of look at stuff like that. So sometimes if I mention it, people be like, "You're crazy." Like, what are you thinking? Like, how is that a content moment? But I think the best content moments are like stupid in real life sometimes. So like, I don't clown myself, make myself look dumb. Like, I don't put my lowlights on the internet, but you definitely got to add character to yourself and not just put the best highlights of your life, because authenticity builds community.
Absolutely, for sure. And I, cause it's so interesting, like, um, sometimes those blooper moments in like the content creation be like, oh, it's so funny, but yeah, it can be like those viral moments like, dang, this is
Mm.
not what I expected, but okay. Like, and because I ain't heard about the trip part where you tripped in the free throws. Like, dang, I was like, I wasn't, how did you do that? But I was like, hey, it happens. It's like,
Yeah,
it happens. So, but, you know, and speaking of which, with the content wise, you went to AthleteCon 3.0. First of all, shout out to Sam Green, the queen of
yeah, absolutely.
AthleteCon. Shout out to Sam. There was so many people that got to go and went and stuff. But for you, what was that like to be part of AthleteCon 3.0?
I just think it was like, I felt very, very blessed and fortunate to be there, because obviously I was like the youngest one. Well, not the youngest, but I was one of the youngest ones. So it was really nice to get to like have people to like look up to in the content industry. And get to like see them in real life. There was a couple big names there. So it was really great to be able to see them and meet them and like network and stuff. Um, and I was also just like, it was exciting. It was kind of like an eye-opening moment for me, because this is like the first big thing that happened that my content has took me to. So it was kind of like an opening moment where it was like, okay, like, if I keep this up 15, 20 years from now, like, well, maybe not that long, but you know what I mean? I can really get somewhere with it. So it was really inspiring for myself. And yeah, I was just really excited, really blessed to be there.
For sure. Who are like, because you mentioned like you saw like some of the content creators that you looked up to. Who would you say were some of them that you like met that you're like, oh my gosh, like just like this is surreal. Like it was one of, because it's like one of those surreal moments. Like, is this real? But hey,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna be so for real. This is probably not what you're expecting, but you know Quincy, basketball content creator. You know if you saw him.
I probably had to see his face. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, he does stuff with OTE and stuff. So he was there, and like, I knew he was coming or whatever. I used to actually do stuff with overtime. Like, I used to go film at overtime. During last season, I would just go and like film or whatever. And I went to the OT Select Dream Tryout and would just like create content and stuff like that. It was not for myself, but before I got into the content for myself, I used to do content for other people. That's cool, everything. But so I'd always say he's like one of my favorite content creators. Him and you know who Emily Harrigan is? She wasn't there at 3.0. She was at 2.0.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw her. I never got a chance to meet her in person, but I did see her in the Charlotte one, the
yeah,
2.0 one. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she wasn't there, but definitely Quincy. I got to talk to him and meet him for a little bit, and I actually pulled up a picture. I got in a picture with him whenever I was there overtime like 2 years ago, and I told him about it or whatever, and he was like, he pulled up and he showed me, and I was like, yeah. So I'm over here clicking through my little highlights, had to scroll back, find my highlights. He's just like looking at it. It was kind of awkward, but I found it, and then we got a picture. Then it was really nice, and he's obviously like he's an amazing guy. I like to talk to. Like he's really genuine, really sweet. Um, but him and then Brandon Dwyer was there, but I didn't really talk to him. I just kind of like saw him from afar, but that was really cool. But yeah, those are the top two. That yeah.
Brandon Dwyer is the one that won about the Rose who just scoring the 1 point.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is because
He's crazy.
there was it was I was like, how is because it's one of those things like the road to scoring at 1 point and you're in college is like, and then he actually scores at 1 point, and that made whole news because it's like he made a whole content about it, and then he finally scores at 1 point. It's like, dang, yeah, dreams do
Crazy.
come true for real.
He was making a TikTok right in front of me actually. Like him and some guys, like I was standing right here and then like 5 feet away, he just started like, dancing. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then I opened up Instagram 5 minutes later, it's right there. So it's pretty cool.
Oh. So my question for you is: you mentioned kind of a little bit. You said you with, and correct me if I'm wrong. You worked with, or you helped worked with overtime for a little bit, and you would create, help create content for others before you created. Would you say creating the content for others kind of inspired you to create more content for yourself, to where it would like help you secure like with your own brand both
Mhm.
on and off the court?
Yeah, definitely. So I had done stuff with my high school. Like I would go film at football games and make edits and stuff like that. So I kind of went through a little phase where I was like, I kind of wanted to, get into the camera and making the edits and mixtapes and stuff like that. I found out that really wasn't for me down the road, but I did used to do stuff like that and enjoy stuff like that. Um, yeah, so that definitely did help.
And especially in, speaking of which, and you hoop, you also like with, especially with women's basketball continues to rise in the professional and also collegiate level. What does it mean to you to see the women's basketball continue to rise in viewership, as well as even in just content and just brand partnerships?
Yeah, so it's definitely inspiring to like the next generation, people looking up to them. Um, Obviously, if we're talking about straight basketball, Caitlin Clark has done a deal. I could talk about that for 20 minutes of the whole other conversation, about viewership and about just making the game exciting to watch and bringing in fans. And then on the content side of it, I have noticed a lot of female athletes and basketball players, WNBA players, using their platforms that they already have to push out their personal brand, but also push out the league and push out, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, just push it out, get it out there, because you can do a lot with your personal brand to grow a franchise.
What advice would you give to someone that wants to create and start content, but they're kind of like, say, afraid and don't want to lose their passion for the sport?
So I don't know if this would, do you mean like camera shy a little bit? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so not to sound like a pick me or anything, but I've never really like I have friends who are like don't want to be on camera, scared to death to be on camera. Like my sister, like she kind of wanted to start content creating, but like it's not really her thing. She probably hate if I said that. But I know people that like it's like scary for them or whatever. So I've never like thought that before. Like when I was younger, like I kind of started content and so I got Instagram for the sake of creating content when I was in like 8th grade. I didn't really do anything with it. And then I started like taking it really seriously like 2.5, 3 years ago. But of course, like trial and error, I haven't, like, I'm still young, so I'm still growing 100%. But I never really was ever like camera shy, I guess. So I know some people that'll be motivational, be like, you have to get over that fear of posting or whatever. And like, in my opinion, it's not for you. If you are afraid to like post, like, it's not for everybody. So it's like, you kind of gotta, I don't know, understand. Like, I can't really speak into that because I've never been for, like, I do the dumbest stuff and I've put it on their internet. And yeah, I've kind of have regrets a little bit. If you scroll back too far, don't scroll back too far. But like, I have a little bit of regrets, but it's like, it's all like a journey. So 10, 15 years down, if you want to scroll that far, see it, you can kind of see how far I've come in a way, performance wise. So yeah, I can't really speak into the camera shy part because yeah, I mean, me and my camera love each other, so.
To me, I feel like because I know there was it's interesting because I had there's always those people like the athletes that like I don't I don't they're like scared of being in the camera, like they don't want to speak it, but it's like you could just narrate, you could
Mhm.
do voiceover, like you could
Yeah,
just stand there and wave and just move around, but you don't have to say anything to the camera. You could just do like narration where like come with me as I do this, and just do like voice narration and stuff. Like if you don't like speaking into the camera, you can always just do like just do something like just move around or something, and then just do like little voiceovers as like a narration. I always say like, especially ones that say that may be shy in talking to the camera, because it's it's just like it gives it kind of gives the viewers like, hey, this is what they're about and stuff. I
mhm.
was like, so, but this leads to my question. I always say that athletes are humans first. So for you, how important is mental health to you?
It is definitely important to me as a person who has definitely struggled with anxiety, and not even about sports, just in general. I have definitely seen moments where it has taken a toll on my performance. And a lot of it is you have to lean into your faith. And I know that sounds cliche, but that's that's speaking from someone with experience when it comes to that. You gotta lean into your faith. And again, I'm young, so I don't know all the I don't know all the answers. I should be asking you that question. Um, but so I'm still growing, but I have seen definitely improvements. You have to kind of let go of the outcome of something. So one thing I like to say is trust God with the outcome of it's kind of, I think it's in my bio actually. But trust God with the outcomes. You can put in all the work you want in any field you want, but you have to surrender the outcome to the Lord because you don't have control over the outcome. So I could put all this work into basketball and I could be a professional volleyball player one day. I really don't know, but all your work for anything, any field you do in life, there's always a purpose for it. Whether that purpose is to grow you, whether that purpose is, you know what I'm saying. There's always a purpose to everything you do in life. And the Lord rewards people who work hard, basically. So that's what I would say.
How do you balance your faith and your sport simultaneously?
So long story short, super duper long story short, I went through a time period. It was like a year and a half ago, kind of last summer actually, where I knew basketball had become a giant idol in my life, and I was so focused on all that type of stuff, the outcome of it. Like I was focused on the outcome and not where I was in the present moment. So I basically it got so bad to where I couldn't really even play without like crying. It's kind of vulnerable, but it's true. I couldn't really like I couldn't play, like I just, my brain was so fogged up I couldn't do it. So I basically had to take a break from basketball, which is, if you know anything about me, I'm I was weird, crazy middle schooler, obsessed about all I did was practice basketball in different forms. It was this whole thing, but I had to take a break from it and basically surrender it. And sometimes like I never really knew what surrender meant until I had to surrender it. And I got to a point where I was like, I don't even care. Like just take it away. Like I had to basically get to a point where it didn't matter. Like I only, like, the Lord is what fulfills you and not sport. So I was like 100% okay. Like I legit was contemplating like I might not play again. And it was a dark moment, but um the Lord brought it back to me, and obviously I was able to start playing freer. So if you know, I went through I used to like be afraid to dribble the ball. It was like really weird. I went through a time period where I couldn't dribble, and now it's pretty much like all I do, like as a So it's because I'm 5'6", so I gotta learn how to dribble at some point. So, but that pretty much is what I do. So it's pretty cool how the Lord worked that together. In the moment, I wasn't thinking, oh, this will get worked out. I'll be able to play again. Yada yada yada. I wasn't thinking about that. But definitely, you have to take yourself out of your sport. As cliche as that sounds, it's a process and a journey, but you have to do that if you want to see success.
Man, that hits deep for real. I think the surrendering part is like probably one of those things like it is so hard to do because as much as like you are so like you said you're like the thing that you're so obsessed and you idolize something, sometimes it takes that toll away from it takes a toll on you to where like I have to do this, but then when you get to that process of surrendering to where like God please just take this like take it and then he blesses you more. It's like whew, like I think the surrendering I would say the surrendering process is one of those things you have to like do, and it's like one of those things that's a hard pill to swallow because like a lot of people don't want to surrender things. It's like
Yeah.
this is what they known all their life and everything, so it's like so that girl i, I hear you with this. So this leads to my question, if there was a word or phrase or even a scripture to describe your journey so far, what would it be and why?
Oh, okay. So this is this might sound stupid. You're probably expecting a verse or scripture to come out of me, but have you seen Lion King?
Yes.
So you know that part where I don't even know his name. I forget his name, but the monkey guy, he was like Rafiki.
Rafiki.
He's like he hits Simba on the head, and he's like ah, why'd you do that? And he was like, it doesn't matter. It's in the past. Like move on. It doesn't matter. And then he was like, you can either run from your past or you can learn from it and grow from it. So it's very cliche, but that has definitely helped me. I drill that in my head because that's biblical too. Like something happens, you get knocked down. It doesn't matter. It's in the past. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't like move forward basically. So definitely that because I've definitely gone through some really, really, really hard times the past year, and it just doesn't matter. Like it's in the past. You can't do anything about it, and it's hard. It doesn't mean it's not hard. Like the past can hurt, but it doesn't benefit you whatsoever to dwell on it and to think about it and to look back. It doesn't benefit you at all. So it doesn't matter. It's in the past. Move forward. Even the past hurts. Move forward. So that.
That is interesting how you mentioned that. I was like, I remember that. It's like Rafiki hits Simba. He's like, "How? What'd you do that for?" It doesn't matter. It's in the past. No, I was like, and it's like you said, you could either run from it or you could learn from it. Like, and the fact that, bruh, I was like, dang, that felt nostalgic. That's like not trying to show my age. It's like, dang, that felt nostalgic moment right there. But it's interesting. It's so interesting how you mentioned what's it called? Like I said, Lion King, because I was like, I haven't heard anybody mention about Lion King in
Yeah.
anything like that in so long. And this is a blooper moment where the wire for my microphone would come off, but bloopers
Oh,
happen on this. It's a blooper moment. Nobody knows.
it's
But then
my
I said it. But bloopers moments happen on this podcast. It makes it raw and real. So hello, y'all. But but I just it's so but where's my little shakers? Because I like that answer right there. That's real right there. My little tambourine shaker. So but so this so couple questions. Who would you say are some of your favorite hoopers that you really enjoy watching their game and that you're inspired by?
this guy right here.
Steph Curry.
Yeah. He kind of, other than Bradley Beal and John Walsh. Actually, I got a Bradley Beal jersey after a game. He gave it to technically my sister, but both of us after a game when we were like 3 or 4, something like that. So that's another guy. But obviously, I talked about that. But definitely Steph Curry. I actually got a whole wall. So on my closet, I got a collage of like Steph Curry pictures and posters and stuff like that. It's been up there since 7th grade. I'm not taking it down because it's nostalgic. Sometimes my friends walk in here and like, why do you got a middle aged dude up on your wall? I'm like, you got to trust, because I have some friends that don't, but it's kind of funny. But I leave it up there because it reminds me. But definitely the Warriors. But that's on the male side. But obviously on the female side, um, I like Sabrina Nescu a lot. And obviously I like Caitlin Clark, but the whole world likes Caitlin Clark, so that's not very unique answer. But obviously Caitlin Clark, just for what she's done with the game and everything. And it's part of me wishes Caitlin would lean into like the content side, like a little bit like Steph has done with his YouTube, and like I think that'd be so cool. But what I like about Caitlin and what my dad likes about her is she's just like straight basketball, like no nonsense. So I think that's a good role model for younger kids to look up to. But yeah, definitely this guy right here.
Curry, oh yeah. It's interesting you mentioned about Sabrina Ionescu. Like a lot of people almost forget that how she was tripling, doubling in
Mhm.
college. Like the passing and the shooting and just rebounding. Like, but I mean, yeah, I mean, if anybody remembers her shootout between Curry and Sabrina,
Yeah,
if anybody remember that during the All Star thing, I mean,
it speaks for itself.
I'm just saying, like that was. I mean, shoot, it was almost like, dang, this was kind of close.
Mhm.
It was like, dang, this is really happening. But that would be low key. I think that would be cool to see something like that again happening in All Star, where say the top, say somebody from like a 3 pointer, just this could be a habit. A 3 point champion, right? From the
Mhm.
NBA versus a 3 point champion in the WNBA, and they go head to
Yeah,
head in like a 3 point contest in All Star.
that's the
I'm
real
just
thing.
saying. I'm just saying. It could
Yeah,
be
yeah.
from the past. It could be like from like say like a Carl Anthony Towns going against say a what's her name? Uh Not Allie Quigley. Is it Allie Quigley or Kurt? One of those. Like
I
I
don't know.
think it was, but it could be. It's a possibility. It could be.
Mhm.
I think if anybody hears this, just know this is the idea, and if you type the idea, make sure to co-sign that from
Yeah,
me. So
out there.
co-sign it. So
Put it
just
out there.
say, just put it out there in existence. Bam. So, but this leads to my question. Bonafide means authentic and unique. So, what makes Miss Celeste Wilder bonafide? What makes your story stands out?
Ooh. So obviously everybody in the world thinks that they have the worst. So I don't that's what my mom always tells me. My mom always says like everybody thinks that what they went through is the hardest. Um but I think definitely I went through some really crappy situations and really, really hard things that kind of made me who I am today. Not that I'm dwelling on the past, thinking about the past. I done forgot about that. But a lot of that has made me who I am today. So I think that you can't yes, crappy things happen. It's really, really hard. I'm talking to myself when I say this, but it like as cliche as it sounds, it literally molds you into who you are today. So I would say that my past has definitely that's probably not the answer you wanted to hear, but definitely my past. So
Girl, girl. The floor is yours. There's no right or wrong answer. That's all I say. There's no right. It is your. This is your. This the floor is yours. You know, I'm
appreciate
here
that.
for it. So, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer to any question. So, the floor is yours. So, but let me get my little shaker for that because, hey, I'm here for it. So, Miss Celeste, can you let the folks know how where they can find you, support you, and any upcoming events happening your way?
Yes. So I am on Instagram at the Celeste Wilder. Which by the way, I get called the Celeste Wilder all the time. People call me Wilder, like it's this whole thing. But yeah, the Celeste Wilder on Instagram, the Celeste Wilder on TikTok. TikTok hates me though. Like legit hate. Like I think I'm I gotta start a new account or something. It's this whole thing. But the Celeste Wilder on TikTok as well, and YouTube Celeste Wilder. A little harder to find, but I have. If you go to my Instagram, I have all the links. If you tap on the link in my bio, I have my Snap link, I have my YouTube link, I have my, I think, X link. I have all the links there. I am starting to grow on Snapchat. Oh, AthleteCon, I got verified on Snap with AthleteCon. So shout out AthleteCon. So that's great. So I've been seeing viewership on there. So follow me on Snap. I go crazy on Snap sometimes. You gotta bear with me on that app sometimes on my stories. But I think I'm like Celeste Wilder _23, something like that on Snap. But it's like it's just search up Celeste Wilder. I'll be there. I got a little verification, so you can see me. But yeah, just on my Instagram, all the links are there. So
y'all be sure to follow the queen herself, Miss Celeste Wilder at the Celeste Wilder. Hey, first of all, shout out, big time shout out for AfriCon because they sure did verify me on Snapchat too.
Yeah,
I was like, hey, oh, that was like one of the best parts of AfriCon. You get monetized. So I was like, hey. I get people ask me how you get verified. I'm like, I just
secret.
did.
Gotta make it, you know.
Like it's like you have to ask Snapchat about it. Go to like the support.
Not so on about it. Yeah.
But it's like if you know the right people.
Mm-hmm. Connections. Connections.
Networking for real. So big shout out to Celeste for coming on the podcast, for sharing your story. You can check out the live replay of Bonafide podcast episode 236 featuring the Celeste Wilder. And big shout out to the Good Garden again for blessing this juice as well. You can, if you live in the Winston-Salem, Greensboro area, be sure to check out the Good Garden because their juice is amazing, health as well. It's all fruits and veggies, no sugars and no additives because y'all health as well. So big shout out again to Miss Celeste Wilder for coming on the podcast. You can check out the live replay of episode 236 of Bonafide Her podcast featuring the one and only Celeste Wilder. After this, thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.